Now we have not worked with the category model that we added. When we worked with category here, we have not inserted any record. If we want to seed some data, we can do that in application DB context where we have the has data. But another way of seeding is we can do that in the migration directly. In order to show that, let me pin this here, and in the package manager, let me add a migration. I will call that seed category. It will be an empty migration because we do not have any changes. Our build failed. So let me see what's going on there. In the error list, we have issues with the application DB context, and of course, because now it expects the DB context option. So let me do this. Let me comment out everything that we have in the console application. We will not be using that for the near future. Let me save that and let me add the migration once again. Perfect. If we examine this time, the migration is empty. In order to seed something, we have migration builder.sql, and there we want to add an insert statement. So we have insert into, what is the table name? Let me switch back to SQL Server here. It is categories. And if I do select top 1000, we have category ID, which is primary key. So we do not need to provide that. We only have to pass a name here. So I will add values here. And let me call that cat1. Copy and paste it 2 more times. We'll have cat2 and cat3. Now you can also populate the down method to remove them, but I think this is okay. With that configured, let me hit the update database, and that will push the migration and create 3 records in categories. It's done here. If we execute, perfect. We have 3 categories that are created, but this time we use the migration builder.sql to seed the data. There is one drawback of this approach. Let's say for some reason in future you decide to delete all the migration and add a new migration, you will forget that one of your migration had manually seeded the data. Because of that, I always prefer the approach of using the has data. That way, even if you remove all the migration and add a new migration, it will automatically include this in the new set of migration. But I wanted to show you both the approach. That is why we have the other approach right here. Now in the console application, we had logs. In the web application, in appsettings.json, we have logging defined right here. If I open the application DB context and examine the log that we had here, it was database.command. And if you exactly remember, it was inside Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. We removed that and we added the DB logger category. In appsettings.json, we need the complete path. Right here, we need Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.database.command, and the log level we want is information. With that, we should be able to see logs in the output window. Make sure there is no spelling mistake here. Now that we have set up few things in our category table, in the next video, what I want to do is we will use our basic MVC skills to add a category controller, and we will display all the categories. Now we are getting into performing operations using Entity Framework Core. But for that you need to have a basic understanding of MVC application, how models, views and controllers interact, and how the flow works. If you do not have any idea with the MVC application, I would highly recommend my free course, which you can find on .NET Mastery free content. But as long as you have the basic understanding of MVC application, let's get started and explore Entity Framework Core.